Let's talk about arrays. Alright, we found us back at once more, and in this video we're going to be talking about arrays, basically when you need multiple elements that are loopable. This is a very interesting concept because I've previously talked about this in live streams and videos and all of that, where arrays is one of the areas that when I learned Java originally, I was like, I don't need arrays, I'm never going to use them, they confuse me. General high overview, they're basically like a list of elements that you define. Now, let's think about the following. Let's think we have this, right? As per usual, of course, all of the code is linked down below. So you got the gist, you got the GitHub repository, so you can double check it there. But let's, for the sake of argument, say we have question 1, 2, and 3 and answer 1, 2, and 3 right here. And as you can see, what does www stand for? World Wide Web. We got what's the largest ocean, which is of course the specific one. And then which year did East and West Germany unify, which is 1990. Now we have this and you're like, okay, this is fine. But now imagine the following. This is okay, right? And we could, it's like when we display question 1, we can then say, hey, is answer 1 the same as the input? Stuff like that. That's okay. But now I want you to add a fourth one, right? Okay. You're like, okay, that's a little bit annoying. And now I want you to add another 15. And you're like, okay, now we're getting a rough one. And now loop through them. Right? And you're like, well, wait a second. We've learned about loops. So of course we can now do this, right? We're going to make a loop over here. We're like, okay, I is equal to 1, right? Because like question 1 over here. And then we say, well, it has to be like smaller than 3 or smaller than 4 because we can count to 3. And then we like, okay, I++. And then you're like, okay, now I'm going to output this. I'm going to do a question. And then I'm going to be what? I, because it's the I. And oh, of course that doesn't work, right? Like, of course this doesn't work. This does not work. Like we can't take the I, the value of I and use it as a name for one of the questions, let's say. That does not work. So we need to do something different. How do we do this though? And for this, we're going to use arrays. It's going to be great. It's going to be amazing. You can think of this, think of a list of elements, okay? Now I put in list over here as quotation marks specifically because we will still see what a list is. It's slightly different than an array, but I think for an abstraction, you can just think of an array as a list of things. In this case, we're going to make a list of strings. So what is this going to look like? It's going to be very interesting. So it's going to be the string of here, over here, right? So this is any data type. And then we need the brackets right here. So these brackets in this case, this signifies that this data type is an array of type string. We're going to call this our questions equal to a new, and then you can even see it suggests this to us. That is exactly right. We want to do string. And then once again, the brackets, and there we go. However, there's one thing missing. In the brackets after the new, we have to add the number of elements that this list array is going to have. In this case, we're going to do 3 over here. So we're going to have 3 questions. Now, how do we define those 3 questions? We can call the variable, right? This is a string array variable now. You can see it's a string array variable. So we're going to call questions and then put the bracket in here again and put in a 0 as the index. And then we say equals, so the equals operator, what does www stand for? Question mark, and end it with a semicolon, and boom. Now we see once again, wait a minute, 0 index, we think about something, yes, because once again, programmers start to count at 0. We talked about this before, and here it comes to fruition, where the question's 0 is the first element with index 0. Very important. This means that basically what that means is that if we were to duplicate this twice, we then have questions 1 and questions 2 that we can define over here. Let me just copy this over. Once again, all of this is available to you down below as well. So now we have 3 questions. This is correct because this is the definition of the size of the array, whereas these are the indices, right? Index 0, index 1, index 2, size 3, because there's 3 questions. Let's also get the answers in, just for the sake of argument over here. So we're going to have answers with a size of 3 with the 3 answers. And now here comes the crazy thing. Now the indices of those match exactly. Well, wait a second. So now we can actually print out the question and the answer theoretically, right? So we can say if for int I equals 0, we can say I is smaller than 3, I plus plus, boom. And then we can S out over here first the question, which would be in this case questions. You know, how do we get out of this list, this array, particular element? Well, we'd use the bracket again and give this bracket the index of the question, in this case, that we want. And this is going to be I. And that works totally fine because this expects any integer. And so we can just pass I in there. So this is going to be this. And then the answer for that particular question is going to be answers. And then once again, the bracket passing in the I. And if we were to run this, you can see question, what does WW stand for? And here we get the answer. And that works totally freaking fine. Now that is pretty freaking awesome. However, we're not quite done just yet because there are 2 or 3 caveats that we need to think about. If I wanted to add another element over here, of course I could do this, right? Just continue over here. And then this might be something like, what is the tallest mountain on Earth, right? Mountain on Earth, right? We can do that. Now it already signifies, yo, a array is out of bounds, right? It always says this does not work because for an array, we have to predefine how many elements it has. And we've defined it as having 3. However, this is the 4th element. So we need to change this to a 4 and all of a sudden it works. That's totally fine. And we can change it here too. And this is of course Mount Everest. Awesome. And here, of course, too, the size, it has to be 4 for both the questions and the answers. And we run this and we can see it has an output. And you're like, wait, why doesn't it have, why did that not work? Well, because we did a 3 right here. We did a little bit of an oopsie because what we've done here is we've basically, this is something called hard coding. We've hard coded a number. We can also call this a magic number. This, you may or may not have heard about this before. Basically, this 3 right here is, we've done this because previously it had 3 elements. Now it has 4 elements. Now you can say, well, we're just going to change it. Okay, imagine just a scenario over here. Let's say right now, instead of just having the for loop here, you have this for loop in 8 different places in your code. You're like, oh, I have to change it here and change it here. Oh, wait, I have to change it there. That is not a good idea. So instead, what you can do is you can do questions.length. And this is going to give you the length of the array, basically the number that we have put into here for the array. I mean, how cool is that? Anytime you want to change an element, you can do this literally the same way. So you don't, this doesn't have to be done like this, right? You can also, after everything has been done, you could in theory change this, right? Worldwide word, you know, worldwide word, for example, you can do that. And that is now going to be the different element in with index 0 over here. That works totally fine. And that is totally okay. The only thing you can't do with arrays is you cannot dynamically change their size. The size is predetermined by their initialization right here. That's just one thing to think about. But yeah, this is basically arrays. And if we were to run this now with a length over here, bada bing, bada boom, it now works. Very importantly, the whatever you put into the brackets right here. So if I were to say smaller or equals, where it would include the length, right? All of a sudden, what we're going to get is we're going to get an error because it's going to try to put in a 4 right here. And obviously a 4 does not work because, well, the element with index 4 doesn't exist. That's why it says it is an array out of bounds exception. It is out of the bounds because the bound is the is whatever the length is minus 1, right? So that's the highest you can ever basically put into the brackets over here is length minus 1. That's why this is the perfect way to set up a for loop, basically. And this is also not necessarily only why we start counting at 0, but it's just so freaking nice, right? It's so neat. You start at 0, you go up smaller to the length, boom, and you loop through the entire thing. So arrays, like I said, may still be a little bit of a weird thing, right? They may still be like, okay, I'm not quite sure, but I'm telling you, they're going to be really interesting. Now, one final thing, maybe what you're going to have is maybe you have, you want to have an int array or something like that, right? That could be the case. Now, if you were to do this, right? If you do numbers over here, boop, equal to new int array, right? And then there's going to be 3, right? That is not an issue whatsoever, right? So that works totally fine. In this case, we will see the lists, let's say, where this does not quite work. So in the case of the numbers here, we can then do this, right? So numbers 0 is going to be, let's say, 4, right? And then we have 1 and 2, just for the sake of argument. Let's just go through this, right? 4, 8, 15, right? There you go, right? So those numbers, and once again, we can literally just do another for loop right here and just output them. Like I'm telling you, here we're going to, of course, take numbers.length. See, it even suggests this to us right here, I++, and we're just going to S out, in this case, print line, in this case, the numbers I. Let's just do that, right? And if we do this, bada bing, bada boom, we're going to see 4, 8, 15. Absolutely fantastic. So that all works totally fine. And you can use any type, really, to make an array. That's totally okay, even custom ones, right? So once we get there, then arrays could be made with anything, basically. So this is really cool, and it's really powerful. Obviously, once again, a bit more complicated than we have previously seen. For the time being, this is basically the way that arrays sort of function, how you can make them, and just what I would recommend you do is you just play around with this a little bit. Once again, all of the code is linked down below, so you can just play around with this, right? Add another answer, add another question, see what happens if they mismatch. See, just do whatever. Once again, you can just always get back to a functioning state by copying over the code and just having the functioning state, and you always have Control Z. But yeah, today we did learn about arrays, right? When you need multiple elements that are loopable, a sort of list of elements in a certain way, and this is really cool. And like I said, one of the topics that I did not understand, or I didn't want to understand maybe, back in university when I really started to study and learn how to program. So yeah, definitely a thing that is that you got to keep in mind over here. So I get that it can be a little bit complicated, but man, I mean, it is a cool and very interesting thing, and I can tell you it is going to be used a lot of times. Specifically, also the list sort of thing. We'll see that in a future lecture. For the time being, though, that's going to be it for this video right here. I really hope you found this useful and you learned something new. I'll see you all in the next video. Until then, so yeah.